Hey guys, all right, so we are officially live streaming today to Facebook. There was a little snafu with the internet. I don't know if it was Mercury in retrograde, but we are officially here. We are doing our 14 days of live streams for health coaches and wellness professionals and anyone in the health and wellness business. Let me just tidy this up. My name is Rachel Feldman, and I help coaches to strategically build their businesses online and offline. And to just tell you what that means. So in the health and wellness business, I'm hearing a lot of health coaching is dead. Is health and wellness business, is that business dead? I've seen this on Instagram, I've seen this in groups, I've seen this on even podcasts. And the answer is no, it's not dead. For a lot of coaches, they're not making money. For a lot of coaches, they're not seeing the ROI that they need. For a lot of coaches, they're spending a lot of money. The outpour is far exceeding what they are making. And I want you to think about this first before I answer why I coach coaches differently and where I came from and how I built my business. So the reason I don't think health coaching is dead is because how I teach and how I built my business. The reason I think a lot of coaches are suffering and what I see in not only my free forum, so I encourage you to go there, but what I see in a lot of forums, and I'm not always active in those forums, but I'm in them because I want to see what are coaches dealing with. And I talk to a lot of coaches. I make myself available because I want to be at the forefront of what is happening. You know, one of the things that I love about Gary Vaynerchuk is he talks about, I want to get dirty. I want to get dirty in my business because if I'm not knowing what's happening right now in your business, how can I help? How can I be of service to you? So let's answer about why I teach strategically. I call this strategic systems, strategic social media. And those systems aren't just Infusionsoft or ClickFunnels or 17 Hats or Acuity. This is the system that got you better. This is a system that you teach your clients. This is a system that's on your Work With Me page. This is a system you talk about at an event or on a webinar or on a live stream. The story you're telling on Instagram. The post on Pinterest, the post on Google+. It doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh, you detox first, and then you go through my sugar program, and then we end with Mindset Makeover. But everything you do is leading them through that system. Because if you don't, you're not going to have someone contact you and say, I need to have a strategy session. Because if you don't talk about that system in a blog in some way, why would somebody contact you? See, content is king. Content is necessary. But if content isn't written, infusing your story, feeding into your niche, which is why we have the niche course at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com, how can you really understand what your people need? So the biggest problem I see for coaches, and one of the biggest problems I had in year 1 and 2, which was why in year 1 I made $13,000, also not charging my work. In year 2 I made $27,000 until I hit this point at year 2.5. And I realized I was fumbling through handouts. I wasn't clear on my niche. I had heard in school, know who you want to work with, get clear on what they need, and build your list. But it didn't really sink into me to get clear on my story. It was like, pick the people you're meant to work with. But it wasn't clear on how did that relate to me. Well, if I just picked hormones, even though I was told I wasn't going to get pregnant, was that really enough of a niche for the masses? For some it is, because that's their main story. But maybe they need also another niche that really feeds to the masses. So when I picked digestion, I found that a lot of people were coming to me for weight loss. And so I had this aha moment, a few of them in year 2.5, as I was sitting there thinking, probably similar to many of you, am I going to have to go back to commercial real estate? I was crying to my husband. And I know 27,000 seems like a lot, you know, but I was like, this isn't working. How am I going to do this? This isn't, what am I going to do? And I didn't have the money. And in a way, I think it was a blessing, because I would have been, you know, just hopping to the next thing, thinking that that was the solution, and had FOMO, fear of missing out. What if I don't do this? What if that's the magic bullet? What if? Instead of stepping back and really thinking about the potential customer coming to me. Did they really know what I was about when they opted into my opt-in freebie? Was I really following up with them? Or did they just get a welcome? Or did they get nothing? Was I leading them to a strategy session? Or, you know, maybe a group program or a workshop? This is the sales funnel. A sales funnel isn't just an opt-in in ClickFunnels or Infusionsoft or Entreport or MailChimp. It is the whole customer experience with you. It's the whole way that you are inviting people to work with you in numerous opportunities. That's why when you go and you look at our homepage, I walk you through a sales funnel. Now, I map out a sales funnel, not on the homepage, but I map it out for clients who are new coaches, existing coaches. And when I say existing, I break them into a few different brackets. Maybe you graduated and it wasn't the right time for you to coach. Maybe you rebranded, or maybe you've been trying to coach and people haven't been really understanding what you're about. And so there are sales funnels in all different ways to attract that ideal client. And I'm focusing on this more right now because I want you to really understand how vital this is, no matter where you are in your business. So a new coach, I want you to focus on that opt-in freebie on your website, one maybe on your blog page, in multiple ones around social media that they don't even see on your site. Maybe you're infusing one on a blog post. And it may not even have a fancy, opt-in page. Maybe you have lead pages. Maybe you have ClickFunnels. Maybe you're not using anything and you just have a MailChimp sign-up list or MailerLite or Aweber. Maybe that next level coach is in Entreport. They're spending that money, Active Campaign, Infusionsoft. The list goes on. What are you leading them to? Is it a webinar? Maybe even a pre-recorded one. Is it a free event? Maybe it's a workshop, a strategy session. Keep it simple. Maybe it's a group program. Maybe it's just that you're building your one-on-one. Think simple. And when you get them to your one-on-one, be very clear on your offerings. 3-tier, I keep saying. People need different options. And I've been saying since we did the kickoff for the fall Gen Few programs, there are people who will never hire you for one-on-one. And I've talked almost every day to at least 20 coaches a day. And if you haven't taken me up on speaking to me about which program is right for your business, you have definitely lost out. Because the coaches who have contacted me and we have figured out what program was right for their business, you definitely feel, okay, I can breathe. Because it's not that any program can't be niche to your business, but sometimes we feel that sense of overwhelm. I did. Can't tell you how many times I was like, should I do this? Should I do that? And that overwhelm gets us stuck. And that overwhelm depletes our energy. That overwhelm drops our immune system down. And then we feel adrenal fatigue. Then we don't sleep. We wake up between 1 to 3, sometimes at 4 o'clock, and we don't feel good. So you might be a more advanced coach, and maybe you want to think opt-in to a tripwire or an evergreen product. You may have 3 evergreen products. That may lead in a sequence, 5-email sequence, to an interest list for a 4 times a year, gateway program, leading to either a membership opportunity or an extended program off of that for launch. And then you're thinking VIP days. And then you're really planning because you're sitting back and you're asking yourself, which we should do at any time in our business, what really fuels me? What really feeds my soul? What do I really love doing? One coach I spoke to the other day, I said, what do you really love doing? I see cooking all over your site. And do that. Plan them once a month. Take the 5 hours and sit down and plan. And if you can't, get a strategy session with me or sign up for the mastermind that I'm going to be doing. And let's plan it out. But if you don't plan, we go like this. It's almost like my hamster, just in the cage doing the same thing. Hamsters do the same thing. It's like Pavlov dog. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be the same thing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if you want a different Q4, or especially a different 2018, list building, planning, launching. List building, planning, implementing, launching. List building, planning, implementing, launching. And when there's overwhelm, stepping back and asking where the overwhelm is coming. And if something didn't work, stepping back and actually saying, should I not be launching online right now? Should I be focusing more on my one-on-one? Where really do I shine? Do I shine face-to-face? Where really should I be focusing? These are all very important questions. And questions that I ask myself at least once a month, definitely per quarter. But often I sit there and really have to, as I said the other day, force myself, and I did this in business for many, many years. And we are forced in business to do this. Even when I worked corporate, and you don't have a boss, and we don't have a boss as, entrepreneurs. We are our own boss. We have to hold ourselves accountable to ROI, costs going out. So if you're not sitting there with cost and money and all of that, to really start thinking about where are you putting your money out? Is the course you're signing up really going to take you to this next place? Is what you're buying going to feed money back into the pocket? Which brings us to today's topic, one of my favorites. How can you use the Done For You programs in your community? So I want to actually, let me just pull up a Word document, because we're going to map out this. And if you are on Facebook, just bear with me as I get to some mapping. Okay, so some of my favorite ways, we'll do 3 ways to use the DFY. I want to also remind you before I go any further, right now we are running just some amazing, amazing sweet deals. They will be going until August 31st. I highly encourage you to go to your email, if you are on my email newsletter list, open it. I know that it can get busy. I know that it's, end of summer, even though I live in the South. It's funny to say that since I'm a Philly girl, but I do live in the South, and our kids have gone back to school. I know kids up in the North in the U.S. have not. So wherever you are watching this from, still enjoying that summer vibe. But this is the thing, guys. And even before I get here, let me just go through calendar of events. Okay? So when you think about launching, and this is just whether it's online or offline, you have September 21st, which is like, when fall officially begins. So I love end of September, sugar cleanse. We have a 7-day sugar cleanse as an opt-in. If you're also thinking about that, that's a great gateway lead in. So if you were like, hey guys, come and do this for free, or come and do this for, $10. So I just want to even show you this. If you did this for $10 and you got 50 people, clearly we're making $50. If you converted and you got the sugar repair, which is at our site as well, and say you did that for, let's say 157, and you converted, let's say 20 of those people. I'm just giving even moderate numbers. There are people that have had far more success with that. But 20 people at 157 is 3,140. I will guarantee you that out of those 20 people, I bet you would get 2 people who want to sign up for your one-on-one. I'm going to just say conservatively that you're at 450. Maybe you're at less, maybe you're at more. Let's just take these numbers, 450 a month. That's 800. Let's just add these up. So 800 plus 3,140 plus 50. That's 3,990. The reason I want to bring up numbers is, too often we don't think about the number. We don't think about the goals. My first launch coach, Ann Samiloff, who helped many years ago to launch B-School, Marie Forleo, made me many years ago, and I was so scared to write down that glare, to write down my launch goals. And I was like, this is so scary. I did it, and I'm so happy to this day that I did, because it forced me to get into the mindset of being goal-oriented. You need a little light in here. Okay, fabulous. It forced me to get goal-oriented, guys, and goal-oriented is everything about success. Because if we sit in this mentality of, I can get there, I know I can, and I know that I'm going to do this, you can. And when you start looking at how many people you need to achieve that goal is doable. So if you, at the end of September, the great thing about this, guys, is this map is totally replicable. So if you wanted to do this with the detox, or you wanted to do this with the 4-day reboot, another one, 4-day reboot, or you wanted to do this with the 5-day clean eating, or you wanted to buy one of the all-inclusive, programs, and Sugar Repair has great opt-in freebies, and say you wanted to run a gut program, or adrenal, or mindset. Any of the programs that we have, the list can go on. Revitalize. I would say our mindset programs are Revitalize. That is a little more food-based. I look at that as like the 4 pillars of circle of health and life and mindset. But mindset takes you through like 8 weekly books. There are so many ways that you can launch a little gateway, or like, hey, join this challenge, or hey, come to this webinar and get this free guide, and say to people, this is just a snippet. How many of you, if you're on Facebook, God, I can't wait to go back and see this. How many of you, if you're on Facebook, and tell me, please say, yes, Rachel, this has happened to me. Have went to buy something, and you go to buy it, and then the next page comes up. This is the power of like ClickFunnels. The next page comes up and it says, wow, wasn't that great? Well, you just bought this. This was just a small like snippet of what you could have really gotten. Are you ready to invest? You know, for only another $157, you could get the whole program. What you're saying is not that maybe that page, but that is kind of the nurture sequence or the email following. It's, hey, thanks so much for being here on this. And I want to invite you to this amazing opportunity with me. So you're inviting them to this next opportunity with you to come and be with you for another 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or in a 3-month program, or in a 2-month program. So if you take to the end of September, which is why we launched now. See, the smarty poo pants, I'm not saying anyone who is not buying right now is not, but the reason that we launch now, so you have the time. And the reason we do the done for you sales pages in WordPress at healthcoachbiz.com is so that we can give you a sales page in 7 business days. So we want you to focus more on marketing, more on the pre-marketing, which is what we talk about in Launch School, and give you step-by-step templates to follow. It's pretty inexpensive. I mean, we do templates, we do videos, I'm in that forum, so that you know what to do. So I want you to just think about the next 3 months. I want you even to think about the next 6 months. What is your list building plan? How are you getting strategy sessions so that your pipeline is full? Because right here on my wall, there's my pipeline of strategy sessions I had this week, all filling my September, October, November. I want you to think about your pipeline. And even this week, I strategically reached out to 2 different people I am collaborating with in a different way to make sure that my offline work is still healthy locally. So always be thinking, and that brings us to today's webinar. Okay, so when I worked my health coaching business, which I had worked in a very balanced way for 7+ years. And I also want to preface this by saying I had gone to school and I was living in Philadelphia, which I was had lived there since I was 3 years old. And when I was about to graduate, and even when I was going to school, I thought, well, this is great. I know everyone. My chiropractor, my homeopath, my doctors, my integrative doctors. I mean, you know, the list went on. So at the yoga place, even though I didn't do yoga, but I knew everyone. And so in my head, I was mapping out all these workshops and collaborations and La Leche group and just everyone that I had gone to myself. Well, 4 months before I graduated from IIM, that's when we had lost all our savings. And it was the turning point to many different things that happened. But the short story is this. We knew we had to sell our house because we had paid off our house. And that was luckily a very smart move. So even though we had lost all our savings, everything in our business. We had that investment until we sold our house, and we made a move also because my husband has psoriasis. And so we knew the cold wasn't working, and we moved to Florida. It was a really hard emotional move, but as you all know, commitment to health is a huge thing, not just in our family, but just, you know, for emotional, physical, everything. We wanted a different pace in our life. Tough thing is this, I knew nobody. We moved to a place where I didn't know one person, not one friend, not one practitioner, not one anything. And so when I moved here, I really was building a business from scratch. And Max and Sammy were under the age of 4. And so it wasn't that I could pour everything 24 hours a day into my business. I had Sammy at home. And so I speak to you from experience of not having a team, not having a VA, not having a designer, really being a sole entrepreneur, and building a business from the ground up with very limited time, limited resources. And so I speak to you from complete experience of where you are or where you have been or all of that. And so when I reached out locally, these people, they didn't know who I was or who they didn't know me from Adam. So I want to share that with you because I think a lot of people always say, oh, you know, you have built such authority, but I did that because I worked to walk the pavements and hand out business cards and meet people and show up. And even though I appear like an extrovert, I'm not. I'm a massive introvert. I have used social media as a platform to feel comfortable, and I've worked on my social anxiety so much. And I share that with you also because I am all about honesty. I hate BS, cannot stand it. And I also don't appreciate when it comes out on Facebook, like it's just so easy to build a business. So I always share from soul, from heart, you know, the trials and tribulations that I went through and how I want to make it easy with the Done For You programs because you're lacking a few things. Time, which I was lacking. The money to do it yourself. It costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to put a program together. I know for you guys, you may look at a program, and this is just me, you know, I'm sure reading some minds, that it may look and be like, oh, she's charging a lot, but my receipts for editors and the design that we do, my chef, the photos that we take, we put a lot into these programs, and the content is extremely rich. And that is why when I would go and pitch to gyms and pitch to doctors and pitch to juice shops and health food stores, they were blown away by my materials. Now, I'm going to just preface this by saying I always came with an NDA. That's a non-disclosure agreement. You can get them on LegalZoom. You can even sometimes get them just, you know, online. I also do have a few great lawyers that I know that I can drop into our free group. And you can just have a non-disclosure agreement because you want them to know this is your program. Number 2, if you are having somebody like a gym affiliate off of you, again, same thing. You want to make sure that this stays in your system. Why? Because it's the same. It's very easy to have somebody steal. Number 3, I really encourage you with the power of, you know, Adobe, which is great. It is so easy to convert PDFs. You can have a virtual assistant, or even you can lock your PDFs so they can't be copied. And I know that sounds like, but you know, there's a lot of piracy these days. It's very sad, but it happens. And this is just about protecting you. And last but not least, 4, is just having a agreement. That means a JV agreement. Again, you can get this, you know, LegalZoom, or I know of a few lawyers who sell these and everything, and I'm more than happy to drop that in our free forum. But these are things that I had mapped out in, you know, I would bring my desktop, bring my laptop. I'm looking at my desktop. Bring my laptop with me. So you want to think about an NDA. You want to have a clear vision too. What is your vision that you have for this partnership? And this is stuff that I'm going to be talking about in the mastermind too, because what I see in a lot of courses out there is it's like how to work with your clients, how to do a lot of that stuff. But it's like, how do we actually build our platform locally so we're getting referrals from people? So I want you to start thinking about your vision before you even go and pitch to somebody. That's why in the Done For You programs, we have PowerPoints. Those were the same PowerPoints, guys, that I used to create my signature PowerPoints. I used the opt-in freebies to match the PowerPoints, and you'll see at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com. You'll see that our PowerPoints kind of match that same theme, and we do that strategically. We do that for a reason, so that you could take that and you could do a webinar and give the opt-in freebie as a thank you. Or you could do the opt-in freebie as a lead-in, leading to an evergreen webinar or a webinar that you're launching, and the opt-in is the enticing opportunity. Or maybe you're teaching part of the opt-in. And that's why you see in a lot of the new ones, like the adrenal and the detox, the brand new fall detox, based on immune system. Because why? If we don't work on the lung and the large intestine and the immune, we get those chest colds. That's why it's all about the lung and the large intestine. So you will see that we give handouts. So you really want to have this in your mind. So now let's get down and dirty. All right, I hope you're still with me. Let's map out 3 ways to use this. So let's say you're going into a gym. All right, let's say you're going in with sugar. Okay, sugar, and let's also do this with grain-free. Most often these gyms, they're powerhouses. They have fitness trainers, and a lot of fitness trainers, because I worked at a lot of different gyms, they have that traditional 2 eggs in the morning, or 2 egg whites, 3 egg whites, peppers, onions, half a bowl of oatmeal, and an apple. How many of you have seen that? Snack. Lunch is 4 to 6 ounces of chicken breast over a salad with half a sweet potato. Snack. Dinner. I mean, again, as coaches, we are not permitted to talk about calories, you know, protein amounts, all that. That's why I always referred and said, here, guys, you have my Fitness Pal, everything like that. But these are, this is about nourishing. This is about learning how to not count calories and know that you are going to be healthy and not die. And that you are going to feel, you know, that you're going to thrive. And the nice thing also, when you go to a gym, you can then work with the trainers. Hey guys, let's all sit down. This is the healthy recipes. Is there anything we need to change? Note that. So when you're going into pitching, you can say to them, hey, you know, I wanted to come to you. My name is blah, 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 blah. And you have different options. This could be sugar. This could be grain-free, lots of CrossFits. So that's one way to go locally with even a gym. This could even be a spa. I even think, let me even do 2. I think that a lot of spas, juice places, you can even do, I would even do the 7-day sugar cleanse, 4-day reboot, and add juices. You could even take one of the programs like the detox and partner with a juice company. You can even take the detox and partner with the spa or a salt sweet place or a med spa, which, you know, if you found a place, or colonic, and, you know, and even have them do educational workshops with you. We might even do more than 3. I hope that's okay. I don't even have my phone here. So then I would also look at shopping tours. This was a big one that I did. You can do that really with any of the programs. You can do this in a natural health food store. They love that. You could do this with, you know, gut program. You could do this with sugar. You could do this with adrenal. Then also face-to-face support groups. Then you could do, we're going to do 5. Cooking workshops, educational events. See, it's endless when you start to look at the different ways. Pricing them out is just about pricing out. If you think about educational events with adrenal, and you think, okay, I'm going to do it at $50, you know, and you commit to 4 classes, so it's really a total of 200. And make it high value, make it 2 hours. So maybe, you know, it's 200 and you need, let's say, 10 people, you make 2,000. Or maybe it's 200 and you want 20 people. Or maybe it's 2,000. Can you do that 4 times a year? I mean, even if you did that once, you made back the price of the program and more. I want you to look at what we mapped out, even if you did a face-to-face support group and you charged $157 or $97 a month. If you did a cooking workshop and you did this maybe even at 25, I mean, don't make it, even if you did it at 25 and say you bought the detox, and this is the thing I want you to remember about these programs in our business folders. And I do believe what sets us apart, and I'm not dissing anyone by saying that, because what I love about our business materials is they're not just specific to that program. These opt-in freebies, I love everyone who does done-free programs. I think there needs to be tons of us doing this because, I mean, come on, we don't have enough hours in the day. But what I love about what we do is that these opt-in freebies can be used at any time. I mean, I'm building out the funnel for the essential oils. I'm taking actually opt-in freebies and I'm rebirthing an entire funnel series of a number of different opt-in freebies to feed into a whole health and wellness funnel that I'm building. So these don't have to be used at certain times of the seasons. And that's why when you buy those business materials, you're buying social media that can be used. The photos even in adrenal or a mindset or a detox can be used on social media at any time. Instead of you going in and having to purchase stock photos for like $12. You have photos to use, and we all know that those photos are much more powerful on an Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook than just putting a quote. So you have to have a variety of it. What is that clear message? But that photo is going to have someone stop much faster than anything else. So I just want to thank you for being here today. I know it's Sunday, and I know that it is a precious day, and I'm all about self-care and everything on Sunday. But I'm also about, empowering you to really think about your business and think about it in a different way than you may be thinking about it now. Most health coaches, we come out, we know about health. We've been through our own hell, some more than others. And we have a more difficult time thinking about our business. I want you to think about the system for your one-on-one. Now I want you to think about, do you have other ways for people to work with you? Are you reaching out into your community enough? It's been a pleasure to be here with you today. Sorry for the itch. Got some itching on my nose. My name is Rachel Feldman, and I love bringing to you just real life, real business, real health. Your business and your body are my priority. I say that because adrenal fatigue plagued me for many years. I was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue when I was 31 after the birth of my son, and I was in adrenal fatigue stage 4. Whew. Not to mention a number of other, health issues. And so taking care of business, taking care of our body, making sure that health coaches are nourishing themselves and their families and their loved ones is such a passion, not just for me, but needs to be for you. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. I look forward to seeing you this season in the forum. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me through either the sales page at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com or reach out to me through my site at rachelafeldman.com. I look forward to helping you in any way. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel stuck. There is no reason for that stuff in our business and our life.